dead even.
How cool they are there.
Yeah. Welcome back, Berzerkers. This video is going to blow your mind. Today we've got a Model 3 Performance lined up to go up against a Model 3 Long Range that's been unlocked with a Ghost Chip. What's going to happen? It's amazing what these two guys know about Teslas and how to unlock the top peak performance about it. So let's get together with the Specter and the Rocket Surgeon and see what's going on. All right, guys, so we are out here with Joe and Travis. We have got a 2022 Long Range, we've got a 2018 Long Range, and a 2022 Performance Model 3. We're going to see how these stack up against each other. Now, logic tells you that the performance is going to decimate them all. But, Joe, I understand there's something special about your car.
That's correct.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
So in my car is a 2018 all-wheel drive long range Model 3, and I have a Ghost Chip from Ingenext in that car, which unlocks the rear motor to basically it has a performance rear motor in some of the Model 3s, early Model 3s, and they like software locked them, and this unlocks it, so it thinks it's a performance.
So the motor in your Model 3 is the same motor as a Performance Model 3.
Correct.
And you got an aftermarket accessory, basically, that unlocks the software limitation that turned it into a long-range Model 3.
Right.
Am I understand that right?
That's right.
So what's been your experience with the Ghost Chip so far?
So, I mean, as far as comparison to a performance, I really can't tell any difference. Like, to me, it's a Performance Model 3.
Okay. And so I asked you this off camera, and you let me know if you're okay with it. We talked about the possible impacts, downstream consequences for the warranty on your car. What are your thoughts on that?
So that comes up a lot. Are you voiding your warranty? Is this going to affect your warranty? There's a couple of things. So number one, you just unplug it. Like if I have to go in for service and I'm concerned about it, I can unplug it. Right?
No harm, no foul. It was never there. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's no big deal. It can be detected by Tesla, and in 2019, they did detect it after a software update, and it said incompatible module found, may affect drive performance or something along those lines.
Okay.
Nginx immediately came out with an update.
Okay.
And they basically shipped everybody a nice try module.
Wow.
Nice try, Tesla. But, they rehid themselves, and it can't be found. Now, on the warranty front, there's a lot of things that you can do to your car. A lot of people love modifying their cars. You know, that truck may have some modifications on it. You buy a Corvette, you know, a lot of people go right out and buy a performance chip and put in a Corvette, right?
Yeah. No, and what you're talking about is one of the things that people often object to about Tesla is that I can go and get a Honda Civic and I can put all kinds of great furniture on it that makes it do this or that or the other thing, but I pay this much money for a Tesla and it's like an Apple phone. You can't do much to it. Exactly. But you're saying that this company's found a way, and in your experience, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. And then, like I was telling you, if you put aftermarket products on your car, let's say I put an aftermarket power frunk on my car, and something happens to it and it shorts something out, right?
Yeah.
That's not going to be covered under warranty. You could put aftermarket interior lights on your car, and that affects something electrical. Trailer hitch. You know, for us in the U.S. that, you know, can't get a Model 3 with a trailer hitch.
Yep.
Could affect the warranty. There's lots of things that can affect your warranty, you know. I'm not concerned about it.
Now, I did ask you about a draggy, and you said you had a draggy one time, and what was your 0 to 60?
3.1.
3.1 on a 2018 Long Range Model 3 with just a little something extra on it. So then we got Travis, and we've got your 2022 Performance Model 3. Now I'm going to go ahead and say this about Travis. My experience with Travis is that he's essentially, well, you say brain surgeon, you say rocket scientist. He's a rocket surgeon with the Model 3. When it comes to state of charge and efficiency, you know what you're talking about.
And specifically with drag racing it. So I've done 40 passes this summer at 11.3 for the quarter mile in this Tesla Model 3.
And for our North Carolina viewers, what track was that at?
Rockingham. Yeah.
There you go.
I've actually been to all of the tracks around here, but Rockingham is the fastest track in the area. It was an NHRA track, so it's to the specifications with 1% downhill grade.
So with those peak runs that you had, state of charge wise, what's been your experience there?
What we're lucky with at Rockingham is we can charge at the track. Like
Okay.
right now, I'm hooked up to a 1450 outlet.
You'll
charging
notice
right
we
now.
let him have the spot right next to the charger. He's meticulous with his charging.
So yeah, I'm at 96% right now, but from what I've found, to get the optimal performance, you got to get it right up there, 99%. But actually, the battery temperature matters as much as the state of charge. You've got to warm that battery up. So
Okay.
right now I have a cold battery, and I want to try it with a cold battery, and then I want to heat it up and show you the difference between how big that temperature makes. That temperature difference in the battery really makes.
Quick Tesla tip, Travis, how do you heat up that battery?
Preconditioning. Yeah, so you navigate to a supercharger. So there's supercharger just down the road. If you hit that button. Now what I've found is it's kind of a pain because it can be up to 15 minutes before it actually gets up to temperature. And a lot of people do the navigation, they let it precondition, but they only do it for about 3 minutes. It doesn't do hardly anything in those 3 minutes.
Gotcha.
It's got to be about 15 minutes. So when I'm at the track, I'm hitting it while I'm in the staging lanes. It takes about 15 minutes to actually get up to the line. It's usually perfect. And it'll shut off. When it gets to the optimal temperature, that preconditioning on top of navigation, that shuts off. And that's how you know it's at the temperature. But I also have an app that tells me all of the internal temperatures. I can see everything in the car. And what's really cool is when I do my quarter-mile passes, it gives me a rolling dyno. So it gives me horsepower and torque at the battery. Well, the horsepower is from the battery. It basically gives me a kilowatt that it's putting out at the battery. And so every single pass that I do, I get a dyno graph all the way from 0 miles an hour up to about 121, 122 miles an hour.
You got like 1,800 viewers right now that want to know, what app is that?
So it's the sexy buttons.
Oh, is it really?
F3XY. So those buttons are great. They give me all kinds of functionality that I can't get in my car. I can turn off regen, which with your car, I believe you have different settings that you can set for regen. With the newer ones, you can't do that. You can't change it at all. The software is different. But with these buttons, I've got them behind the steering wheel. I can control how much regen I have.
Gotcha.
So the sexy buttons do all this other functionality. I can pop my trunk from the just opening the door.
Wow.
I can unlock the charging port. I can do all these other things, but on top of that, it has all this functionality in the app.
So it's the app for the sexy buttons.
Yeah.
Sexy buttons available at Abstract Ocean.
Yeah.
Joe, have you had that similar experience with the preconditioning of your battery? Have you had a noticeable, like, can we get it to 2.9 with a little preconditioning and a downhill grade?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I've never tried it.
And the thing with his car, he has the 980 motors in the back of it. And the newer long-range Model 3s, to my understanding, don't have that. I think it's the 990 or it's a different motor in there. So you can't get the Ghost upgrade, I believe, for the newer long-range cars. But
Joe's shaking his head like it's like he's in mourning. He's like, no, you can't.
You can't.
And I'm sorry.
But now his car's the unicorn.
There's a button in there. You can't get the Ghost, but you can get the Boost module, which adds 50 horsepower. It's essentially the same thing as the $2,000 upgrade that you can get from Tesla.
And you haven't done that with yours.
I have not, no, but I understand Joe has some experience with that.
I have. It's actually kind of nice. It changes the throttle curve on that one as well. The Ghost does as well. It's quite punchy, and it also lowers the 0 to 60 by about 5 seconds.
Wow.
50 horsepower.
0.5 of a second, right?
0.5.
Yeah, he said 5 seconds, and I'm like, you know what? Everything be damned. Where's that chip?
Forget about the Roadster.
Forget the Roadster. We got this one in negative 2 seconds.
Half a second is massive.
Yeah.
It's $1,100 from Ingenext.
So you're saving some money for the acceleration boost, and you're still able to get that same level of performance.
And it does have some other features, like he was mentioning, like the ultrasonic sensors. You can walk up to the car and do a certain step to the side of the car and it'll open the front for you.
For now, until Tesla deletes all the ultrasonic sensors, we'll have another funeral for the ultrasonics. So, well, I'd like to do some comparisons between them if you guys are up for it.
Yeah, sure.
All right, mount up, guys. Let's do it.
I got this from Tesla Bros, this wrap, and I did this myself. It's just a pillar delete on it. So it goes from the front, and I like that the one that I got has these extra pieces here, because some of the kits that you can buy don't have this, and so it kind of looks a little uneven. It doesn't have this front piece here, and there's one in the back over here, this part. And so it's 3 pieces, and I'd never wrapped a car or done anything, and I was able to do it.
It makes a significant difference in the look to it. Actually, Ash, the king of men over there, was commenting as you pulled up. The mirrors, you did that as well?
And these are just the covers. I mean, these are just off Amazon, and I did these as well. You know, I mean, that adds a little bit to the look, and I didn't want to spend a ton of money on it, so I just kind of got the ones off Amazon. I got the covers.
Awesome. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think that's about it.
All right, that's it.
Yeah, I put the red on.
So this is what you would get if you ordered a an Ingenext module. This is what I have in my hands is actually the Boost 50 module. It adds 50 horsepower to all-wheel drive long-range Model 3, regardless of what motor you have in it, which is a plus. The Ghost performance module adds 150 horsepower and will only work with a certain rear motor, but this will work with all of them. And that includes 3 and Y long range. To install this is pretty simple. Up under the glove box is the computers for the car. You remove the panel and stick your hand up inside, unplug the plug that goes into the computer, and instead plug it into here. And then you plug this back into the computer, and then this just tucks up inside. And that's all there really is to it, installing and uninstalling it. So it can be removed really easy. It can be put in really easy. So yeah, not much more than that. It's pretty simple. It's a little tight up in there. I'll give it that. But if you stand with kneeling on the ground beside the car, and I'm not a lefty, but if you reach in with your left hand, and you can get up in there and unplug it. Yeah, or you can do yoga moves like I've totally done, and you know. Okay, so the module is actually sitting up in here. There's some clips that you remove, and then this panel will drop down. Once you have this panel down, you unclip the light power that's here, and you're going to clip the speaker too. There's a little speaker that sits in here as well, and then this panel just moves out of the way. Once you have the panel out of the way, you can reach up under close to the side here and unplug the cord that goes into the computer, and then plug in the module in its place. It's pretty simple.
And I'd always been interested in them, but
yeah, buddy.
you feel that pretty good. And remember, this isn't fully preconditioned. I have not preconditioned this at all. This is just straight from sitting out in the sun a little bit.
Sweet.
Okay, I think it was pulling a little bit. I think he was pulling away a little bit.
I don't know. That was kind of close. He got a head start on you.
Looks like Joe stayed right with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're at 442 kilowatts right now. The most I've ever seen is 462. So there's about 30 extra horsepower that we can get once we hit the preconditioning and get it all the way up to temperature.
Wow.
So we'll test it first like it is now with a relatively cool battery, see how it does. Now, most of the power, because I get a dyno graph from it, I can tell that most of the power is after 60 miles an hour. So it doesn't do you a ton of good on the streets, you know, but on the track, you'll really see that difference. My trap speeds I went from running about 115 to 160 in the quarter mile to my best was 121.7.
And
that's a big difference.
That's from preconditioning the battery?
And switching the wheels out. Because I got about 0.8 of a second and, you know, a couple to a few miles an hour by going to smaller and lighter wheels.
And what do you think the difference was on the wheels? Like, what is it about the wheels that you think made that significant difference?
It's the rotational mass. So, I mean, if you feel those uber heavy wheels with the Pirelli tires that come on them, I think mine were 55 pounds for the combination. And I'm down to right about 46 pounds with these 18-inch wheels and Michelin tires.
Rocket surgeon, I told you.
Y'all are dead even.
Yeah. I think than over there.
But it's fast. Like,
yeah, there's no denying. For a long range, that is killing it.
yeah, for the price, there's no comparison. That's fast.
Yeah.
You know, I'd love to see him take that to the track.
All right, Joe, Travis, we've run them.
Yeah.
We've put them through a few paces. From my opinion is, I think you guys are about neck and neck. Joe, what do you think?
I think they're 1 for 1.
Yeah. 1 for 1. Now, you guys don't know it, but Joe's agreed to be a sleeper at the track later on. So he's going to show up, and we're taking dual motor right off. He's going to pretend he's SR Plus. Travis, what's your thoughts?
Definitely. That Ghost module, I mean, he's essentially got a performance car for long-range money.
Yeah, but Travis also pointed out that he did have an increased payload in his car when we were doing these
We are small
research
individuals.
tests. That's the problem. Man, we thank you guys for sitting here watching with us. Please hit like and subscribe. Travis and Joe will see you at the track, and we'll see you guys in the next battle.